Hey guys, this is Lauren Simpoli with Junior Achievement, and this afternoon I am here with Ms. Nancy Gutierrez. Nancy, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excellent. It's always good to talk to you. Could you tell us a bit about who you are, what your job is, and all that jazz?
I'm Nancy Gutierrez. I live in Virginia Beach. I am a wife. I am a mom to a 12-year-old boy, and I own and operate what could be compared to or likened to rather a virtual franchise with the number one skincare brand in North America. It's called Rodan Fields. So the majority of my day is spent talking and connecting with people to see if what I have could be of value to them.
Okay, all right. And is this where you thought you were going to end up at this point in your life? Was this the plan?
Oh, no, 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 no. This is absolutely the last thing I would have ever imagined myself doing for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
One, I always associated what I do, direct selling or social selling, is what I like to call it, with subpar products and like used car salesman kind of like
Makes you feel a little like, ugh, yeah.
Exactly. Like there was like this like gross
stigma.
and
Yeah.
stigma, exactly, and like this gross feeling that I associated with this. So absolutely not. This is the very last thing I ever imagined myself doing.
Okay. It's interesting where we end up. So what, yeah, right. So like, tell us, like, what does a typical day look like for you? I know that you're kind of able to make your own schedule, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So it varies, honestly, and it's
Sure.
been really quite the circus since, we've been doing virtual school. So my morning routine for me is like how I start my day every day with the same morning routine, just so I can get my head on straight and have a solid plan for what I need to accomplish during the day. So every day starts with me getting up and meditating, and just really getting my mind into a clear space. I journal. So if there's anything that's like lingering from the day before, I can just kind of get all of that out on paper. And then I move my body, because that helps to just elevate my energy and just get me started. And that is like a non-negotiable.
Sure.
And then I get right into my workflow. So my work day looks different from day to day. Some days I'm coaching people on my team to hit goals that they are looking to achieve, because the beauty of what I do is we set our own goals. I always coach everybody to hit the bottom of the barrel minimum, because we're in business, and when you're in business, you're in business to make money, not be in the red, as we call it. So I'm always coach, we want to maintain a minimum, but there are people that are like, I really want to grow this into something bigger. So I work one-on-one with those people. I have individual conversations with people who are looking to resolve complex skin issues. I have conversations with people who might be looking for a way to earn an extra paycheck from home, from their phones, which is what my gig with Rodan Fields allows me to do, essentially. So that is part of my day. The other part is the social selling part. So, right now, I believe it's like 60% of all prestige skincare brands, which we are a prestige skincare brand. We used to be sold in high-end retail, and now, they exited retail, and now this opportunity is available to anyone 18 or older, in the US, Canada, and Australia. In Japan. That's new. But yeah, so there's the social selling part of it, because just because I'm in Virginia doesn't mean I can't sell to somebody in California or, Idaho or wherever. And technology allows for that. So I also get to build relationships with people via my social media platforms,
Okay.
which is super fun. So, there's some creativity that's involved with that, which I enjoy. And I'm still learning like reels and
Oh yes, on Instagram.
and so there's also that, like, trends change, the
Yes.
way that you are interacting with people changes. So staying ahead of those changes, or rolling with those changes and learning the skills that you need to learn to evolve with the times is also part of what I do, because we always want to be getting better.
Right. Well,
in our,
remaining
in our
relevant and current, and it's part of, like, it's a marketing tool. Obviously, you have to be using whatever your potential customer base is using, like the platform is wise. So absolutely. And yes, sometimes I feel very elderly because I'm like, what is this that they're doing now? I don't understand reels. I like watching them. I don't know.
I know. I'm still trying to learn them. And here's the thing too.
Hmm.
And I'm just throwing this out there. This doesn't really have anything to do with sales per se, but it's relevant to a sales mentality, I think, because really everything is about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so with regard to reels, the first reel I made, I think took me like 4 hours. I'm so embarrassed to say it, but like I had to watch it short. Like I was just so over it. And it was awful. And at first I was like, I'm not going to post this. This is like such garbage. But I was like, no, this is a learning experience for me. And I just want to get in the groove of doing it. So basically my point is, anytime you start out with anything new, you're not going to be good. You know what I mean? You don't just jump in and you're like, fantastic. There's a learning curve with everything, even when you've been doing something for a while. Life throws curveballs and changes,
Yeah. Well, and I think it's hard because, like, I'm one of those people, like, I don't like to feel like I'm bad at something. So getting over that, like, no, you're new at this. Like, all right, we're just going to learn from this and move on. I think overcoming that feeling is really key. So.
And a lot of people, to kind of piggyback off of that thought, a lot of people think that they're bad at sales because, they have a conversation with somebody and the person's like, no, I'm not interested. And they are like, oh my gosh, they don't like me, or they don't, but this is a staggering statistic. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. Only 2%. And then that percentage goes up with each contact. Okay. So like, your first contact, if you will, could be a telephone conversation. Sure. The second contact could be maybe somebody seeing, a post on social, or you following up with them in a text message or whatever. But it isn't until the 5th to 12th contact where the action happens.
Oh, right.
80% of all sales take place between the 5th and 12th contact. So, but this really puts it all into perspective, okay? 48%
almost half.
Almost half.
Yep.
Never follow up, not once. So they have that initial conversation. Someone says no, or not right now, or whatever, and then that's it. They never follow up. They're done. Yeah. And then 25% might make a second, contact, and then they stop. And only 12% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts.
Wow.
So that's a lot of missed opportunity when you look at the numbers, right? Because there are just people just falling through the cracks because people aren't following up. So there's a saying in sales, and it is, the fortune is in the follow-up.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, that's applicable to, a lot of things in life. Absolutely. So obviously we've kind of gone into the topic area already, but our company program students, our marketing and entrepreneurship students in the Virginia Beach public schools, they're learning about, various aspects of the business process in their classes. Sales is a huge part, obviously, of that. What additional insights, because I know it's different, like learning about it in a class versus like going out and doing it. So yeah, any other insights that you can offer, so valuable.
Yeah. So sales is more about being a good listener than a great talker, right? Like, I don't know how to help somebody, or if I have anything of value to somebody until I know what they're looking for and what their needs are.
Sure.
It's not about me being like, oh, I have this, this, and this, and this, and this, you know what I mean? And trying to wow them with like facts and figures. It's about me connecting with people to find out what they need, what their needs are. And my job is to help match what they're looking for with what I have, versus me trying to take what I have and make
right. You're not trying to force something on somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That makes total sense. Yeah. Again, like listening, building relationships. I mean, we are in a networking group together. It's about, again, relationships, like talking to that person and remembering they have a dog or they have a kid or they have whatever. And you see them again in another function. You're like, hey, how's Fluffy? How's your son's soccer team doing? And like people respond to that. And so they're more willing to, like, I have a relationship with this person. So, if the need arises, I'm going to go to them because I feel like they kind of care about me and they're, paying attention to what's going on in my life.
It's about relationships and like, know, and trust, right? Mm-hmm. People are more apt to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. Mm-hmm. So building rapport, building the relationship, allowing for them to like you,
always helpful,
and trust you. And then that's how that sales process goes. So if you stop on that first, like you meet the person, you have a conversation, and you're not building that relationship too, I mean, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's absolutely great advice. Speaking of advice, to kind of end up here, do you have any advice to our students about like applying what they're learning in their classes, not necessarily to even like the business process, but to like their own educational careers and even beyond that?
Yeah. So, sales is also, it's not just about selling stuff. Sometimes it's about selling yourself, okay? Your personal skill sets and your personality. And a lot of people that I talk to are like, oh, I could never be in sales. I could never, I hear it all the time. I could never do what you do. And I'm like, sure you can. Do you have kids? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, have you ever sold your kid on the importance of brushing their teeth at night? Yeah. Or have, as a student, right? If you're like of driving age, let's say, and you want to borrow your parents' car and they tell you no, can you sell them on the idea of why they should allow you to borrow their car and go do X, Y, Z, right? Yeah. So we're always selling something.
Persuasion, selling.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't even realize that's what we're doing, but we are. And then with regard to like the sales process and following up, like that's a critical step too in finding a job. Right?
Oh my God, I was about to say, yeah. Yeah.
The fortune is in the follow-up. People are looking for people who want to be there, who are enthusiastic, who are excited at the potential of working for a particular, company or store or whatever. So it's that person that's following up and, after the interview, sending in a thank you note. Here's a story, and I love sharing this story. When I graduated from college, I wanted to work in the beauty industry, and I thought at the time that I wanted to work in like research and development. Okay. Yeah. But my sort of path into that was starting out in retail management so that I could then work my way up the corporate ladder for a specific brand. And, I went in, had my interview at Nordstrom, MacArthur Center. It was before the mall even opened. Okay. They hadn't even broken ground. And, so I go and I interview, and I think everyone in Hampton Roads was at, interviewing for Nordstrom.
It was a huge deal. Yeah.
And I had zero experience. Okay. I had nothing. And there are hundreds of people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I am like, oh my gosh, what are my chances? Like there's some tough competition here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had my interview, and I went home and I hand wrote a note. I drove up there the next day, and because there was no physical address for me to mail it.
Yeah.
So I drove up there the next day. I found somebody to hand off the thank you note that I had written to the person that had interviewed me.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of weeks later, I got a call back that I had gotten the job from the guy that I had given the note to. And he said the reason that he hired me was because I sent a thank you note. He said no one else that he interviewed handed or sent a thank you note. So it was that following up, me letting him know that I was excited, you know, at the prospect of him potentially hiring me.
Yeah.
And that was sort of what sealed the deal, because it was also in line with their culture.
Right.
So that was kind of a long-winded story.
No, it's fine. That's perfect. I think it's a perfect thing to kind of end this little segment on. So yeah, sales, you know, on paper, it's about, you know, figures and yeah, I don't know, just numbers, and seems really intimidating, but using the skills that you already have and kind of like developing those people skills are a way to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is. It's really all about connection and having a genuinely wanting to help people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And again, in your classes, in your life, listen to this woman. She knows what she's talking about. So Nancy, thank you so much sorry, sometime, right, you know, we all, yeah. Thank you so much for, again, taking time out of your busy day to talk with us, and I'm sure we'll be chatting again soon.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you. Bye.